Welcome to the Childcare Director's Chair, the podcast for bold educators who are ready to lead, grow, and shake things up in early childhood education. Whether you are a teacher eyeing that lead role, a lead stepping into leadership, or a center owner dreaming big, this is your space to grow with purpose and leave your mark. Hosted by heart-centered leadership coach Erica Sacoccio, each episode brings you real talk, actionable tools, and a contagious laugh or two, all designed to help you step into your next level with confidence. So pour your coffee, pop in those earbuds, and take your seat, because your leadership journey starts right now in the Childcare Director's Chair.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Childcare Director's Chair podcast. It's your girl, Erica Sacoccio, and I want to say hello to Providence, Rhode Island, Minneapolis, Minnesota, ATL, Dallas, Texas, which I can't wait to see all of you folks out in Grapevine, Texas, in about a week and a half at the Texas Childcare Association Conference, and Lafayette, Louisiana, and then, of course, our friends over in the UK always coming on in, and then New South Wales, Sydney. Thank you guys for tuning in. You are among the most downloaded cities last week tuning into the podcast. So we see you, we love you, and thank you so much. My New England friends, I'm going to say this right up at the beginning, top of the episode. If you do not have your tickets to the Early Education Empowerment Conference, you are going to miss out. Do not miss out. There are so many amazing speakers coming to New England. It is a national conference. Connecticut, New York, Maine, New Hampshire. I'm probably forgetting some. New Jersey. You guys need to get in your cars and travel on down. We have people coming from all over. I am so excited. Flying in from Louisiana, Georgia always. Georgia is in the house. I don't know. You guys love me, this little old Italian lady over here in Rhode Island. But anyway, I'm sorry I could go on, and I won't for sake of time, because I know you're a busy director, so I'll get to it. Welcome back to the Childcare Director's Chair podcast. This is your space for practical leadership strategies, real-world stories, and tools that strengthen your childcare team and program. We are going to tackle today a topic that every director faces, would love to avoid, and that is conflict. Our episode is turning conflict into collaboration. You know what? Conflict is not a sign of failure. It's actually an opportunity. When approached with intentionality, it can strengthen communication, it can improve your systems, and it can create a culture of trust and fairness. And in early childhood settings where teams work so closely, the stakes are high. Handling every conflict effectively can transform your program. So guys, conflict is inevitable. Conflict is not a reflection of poorly run centers or bad teams. It is the natural result of humans working closely together with different roles, different perspectives, and expectations. And in childcare, the stakes are particularly high. Schedules, routines, responsibilities overlap all of the time. And that can create tension that is easily escalated if it's left unaddressed. Now, leaders often hope that conflict will resolve itself, but the reality is that really happens. When it's ignored, issues tend to grow. It impacts morale, teamwork, and even the children's experience, and we definitely don't want that. Now, the first step is shifting your mindset. Can you see conflict as a growth opportunity and not a threat? By approaching tension intentionally, you can then turn that tool into team improvement. I'm going to share a story with you from a center that I recently worked with, I should say. The conflict started in the morning with morning routines. Some teachers resisted tasks like filling the sanitizer bottles, putting a trash can liner in the trash can, or setting up classrooms because the previous shift hadn't completed them. The openers felt frustrated, like they were cleaning up after everyone else's work, even before they started their day with the children. The closers, on the other hand, they stayed late, often resenting the people who got to, as they quote unquote said, walk out the door at 3 and 4 and not have to do a thing. They were also managing children while completing last-minute tasks as rooms start to close down and you start to shift children into other classrooms, as we naturally do in this business. And they felt their work was heavy. They felt it was unrecognized, especially compared to the staff who got to leave earlier. And to make matters worse, the night shift staff were inconsistent in completing the cleaning log sign-off, as well as the people who were leaving at 4. And the openers did not know what had been done, the closers felt undervalued, and the tension started to mount. The director facilitated a team meeting where everyone shared perspectives without blame. The openers voiced the stress of unfinished work, and the closers explained how the workload felt unfair. The night shift staff shared why sign-offs weren't being completed consistently, and together they co-created a solution. A rotating checklist for opening and closing duties, where there were clear expectations for night shift sign-offs and a check-in process at handoff. The results were powerful, and guess what? The mornings became smoother, the closers felt more recognized, and the team began to collaborate instead of resenting each other. Now, this story illustrates that conflict isn't just about communication. It's also about the perception. It's about workload and systems. Clear processes ensure fairness, compliance, and clarity for everyone. And as I said, they had checklists. And people had gotten to the point where they were like, well, I'm not signing off. I'm not doing that. And so that needs to be addressed. And that probably should have been addressed by management long before the frustration built. Or even worse, maybe the management did address it and it still wasn't getting done. What was the next step? Did they follow through? Probably not. So I just wanted to share that little story with you, and I'm sure that is a story that many of you can connect with. So here are some things. Express your perspectives respectfully. Encourage staff to express their perspectives clearly is the very first step in resolving conflict. A structured approach like saying, I noticed, I feel, I would like, keeps the conversation focused on behaviors and solutions rather than blame. Because when you start a sentence with you, somebody is going to get defensive really quick. Put it on yourself. I feel like this is what I'm seeing. Please help me understand. When everyone can share openly, it gives insight into both sides of the conflict. For example, the openers could express their stress about starting the day with unfinished tasks, while the closers could explain the late night pressures and responsibilities that they carry. And this creates a mutual understanding and sets the stage for collaborative problem solving. And listen actively. Active listening is important as when we speak. Sometimes even more so, I would say. It involves giving your full attention, reflecting back on what you heard, and asking for clarifying questions. Statements like, so what I hear you saying is blank, or help me understand why this is important to you. Encourage dialogue instead of defensiveness. Active listening is especially important in childcare settings where emotions and stress levels can run super high. By showing that you truly understand each perspective, you build trust and you reduce the likelihood of reoccurring conflict. The staff feel valued, respected, and definitely more willing to collaborate. Now, let's talk about this co-creating of solutions. Conflict resolution isn't about one person deciding the outcome. It's about creating solutions together. Co-creating solution builds accountability, ownership, and fairness. And in our story, the team implemented rotating, operating, and opening and closing tasks. They talked about reviewing the night shift sign-offs, and they added a handoff check-in. By giving everyone a voice and shaping these processes, the team not only solved the immediate conflict, but also strengthened their communication and collaboration skills for the future. So co-created solutions are often more sustainable because the staff feel invested in following through. In modeling resolution and sustaining trust leaders, you set the tone for how conflict is handled. When you model calm, when you model fear and solution-focused responses, your team learns to do the same. So follow through on agreements, acknowledge staff contributions, and reinforce positive communication. Sustaining trust requires follow-up. So after conflict, check in to see how solutions are working. Recognize the process. It is not always easy. And address any lingering concerns. When staff see consistency from leadership, trust will grow and future conflicts will be handled more constructively. Now, conflict management also ties directly to professional growth. And teams that trust each other and communicate effectively are more open to learning and development. And our sponsors at Charter Oak State College support educators through flexible online programs from associate's and bachelor's degrees to master's in curriculum and instruction. So investing in your team's growth supports your program. It improves morale and it fosters leadership at every single level. And don't forget the Early Childhood Empowerment Conference. It is coming soon, offering strategies to elevate your leadership and strengthening your team. So at this moment, I want you to reflect. What are recurring conflicts at your center? Are the workloads clear and fair? And are expectations documented and communicated effectively? Conflict does not have to be divisive. It can clearly help you understand processes, balance workloads, and strengthen communication. And as a leader, your role is to turn tension into collaboration through effective listening, co-creating solutions, and fair, transparent systems. John Maxwell reminds us, teamwork begins by building trust. And the only way to do that is to overcome our need for invulnerability. When you address conflict openly and implement clear systems, you model fairness and accountability. And your team learns that challenges aren't threats, but actually opportunities. So in closing, guys, conflict is inevitable, but it can become collaboration when approached intentionally by listening, clarifying systems, and modeling constructive resolutions. You build your team that is stronger, more connected, and ready to support children and families that you serve. Okay, one more time. If you haven't registered yet for the Early Education Empowerment Conference, now is the time. Tickets are almost sold out. Only 3 weeks left before registration closes. Reserve your spot below. And if you want to learn more about our sponsors at Charter Oak State College, click the link. Tell them Erica from the Childcare Director's Chair podcast sent you. As always, till next time, have a great day.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Childcare Director's Chair, where we believe leaders aren't born, they're grown. If something sparked for you today, share it, shout it out, or pass it along to the next bold changemaker in childcare. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected with Erica Sakosio for more real talk leadership tools and a whole lot of inspiration. Until next time, lead with heart, grow with fire, and always remember, the chair is yours. Now own it.